What's up, guys? Hope everybody's all doing well. And in today's video, I want to talk about the heavyweight division. So I'm going to be talking about Daniel Dubois' defense of his WBA regular title against Kevin Lerena on the undercard of Fury vs. Chisora 3. And I'm going to say I think this is actually a pretty good fight, the Daniel Dubois vs. Kevin Lerena fight. I think it's a pretty interesting matchup. And I think it's actually a winnable fight for Kevin Lerena, which is going to probably shock a lot of people. And, you know, understandably so. Kevin Lerena hasn't fought at this level before, and Daniel Dubois just a few years ago was considered to be the next hope of the heavyweight division. They were supposed to, be a killer and go on to knock everybody out, and then he got kind of railroaded a bit by Joe Joyce. So since then he's come back and got a victory over Trevor Bryan in the States. In a pretty what was expected result. Trevor Bryan doesn't look to really be taking the sport too seriously, coming in that type of condition. Did a lot of talking, but didn't really come in the best shape. Now that's what I will say. For starters, Kevin Lerena, I don't think he'll do a lot of talking, but he's definitely going to come in shape. He's a cruiserweight that's moved up into the heavyweight division, probably due to there being a lot more money in the heavyweight division and a lot more exciting fights for him out there. So this is a really good fight for Lerena. With me being a South African as well, I've seen most of his career. A lot of his fights have been televised on Supersport. So I followed a lot of his career. He's got one loss on his record. He's 28-1 with 14 wins by KO. Got one loss on his. He is called the KO Kid, but however, he's not, in my opinion, a really big puncher. He has got power that he can hurt you if he catches you with the right shot, or catches you with enough shots. He can definitely hurt you. So in this fight, he would, in my opinion, be able to hurt Daniel Dubois. He can hurt Dubois. I think he has got enough power to earn Dubois' respect, especially if he's hitting him, quite a lot. So I think it's a winnable fight for Kevin Lerena because, in my opinion, he's the more talented of the two boxers. I think, he's a better athlete. He's more mobile of the two. He's got the faster hands. He puts his punches together a lot better than Daniel Dubois, in my opinion. He's a lot more natural, whereas Dubois is, very robotic, kind of stiff, a bit slow, quite flat-footed. I think Kevin Lerena is a lot more mobile than him. Like I say, he throws combinations, got pretty good upper body movement and a good high guard defense. So Lerena, in my opinion, is the more talented of the two boxers. I think he's the more skilled of the two. He's also a southpaw, and I think he's been a bit protected throughout his career, or well managed by Rodney Berman and co. And the Smiths. But I'd say Lerena is at probably the right time in his career to be taking this type of fight. He's 30 years old. He's had a few fights in the heavyweight division. He's fought the likes of Bogdan Dinu and Marius Wak in the heavyweight division. Neither of those two guys are near Daniel Dubois' level. He probably, flattened both those guys, especially, with Marius Wak being way past his prime, and Bogdan Dinu just really not ever really being considered in the top level of the heavyweight division. But like I said, I think this is the right time for Kevin Lerena. He's dipped his feet into the heavyweight division. Got used to it. I would say in this fight, I think Lerena needs to kind of come in a bit trimmer, maybe around that 220 mark, so that he's light enough and mobile enough to keep moving. Because I think in this fight his movement's going to be very important, especially in the early rounds. I think he's going to have to use his boxing and his movement. Kind of try not to sit in the pocket with Dubois too much. I think in this fight we're going to see a lot of lateral movement from Kevin Lerena. I say a lot, but maybe we won't. But because since moving up to the heavyweight division, he hasn't been, moving around as much. He's been more kind of standing in front of you and letting his hands go. But in this fight, I would recommend that he comes in and uses a bit more movement, especially in the early rounds. I would say use your boxing to your advantage. Stay on the outside, use your movement, and then jump in when you want to throw your combinations behind your jab. Try and attack off the angle, slip outside Dubois' jab, with this being a orthodox southpaw matchup. That also makes it interesting to see Dubois in there against a southpaw, that can box a bit, like Kevin Lerena can. So I think it's a very interesting stylistic matchup as well, because, Dubois is probably kind of trying to use it as, fighting a smaller heavyweight southpaw, maybe as preparation for getting a shot at Usyk in the future. So I can see why Frank Warren and them would have chosen Lerena, but I also don't think they've really done their homework on Lerena too much. I think they just view it as, look, he's a cruiserweight. He's lost before to Johnny Muller, who, was never really, he's a very tough guy, but quite limited, So I reckon they're looking at it like with Dubois' power, if he's able to kind of touch Lerena like that, he'll get him out of there easy. He's 6'1". Dubois got all the physical advantages in terms of size, height, reach in this fight, power as well on his side. They reckon he'll probably just blast through Kevin Lerena, and that could very well be the case. But I don't see that happening. I think Lerena will have the boxing IQ and ability to at least last a few rounds and get into the second half of the fight, where I think things could get pretty tricky with Lerena kind of, maybe being able to then start to stand his ground a bit more and start to let his hands go when Dubois starts maybe fatiguing or getting a little bit frustrated in there. That would be the kind of game plan I'd go for if I was Kevin Lerena in this fight. So yeah, I think it has the possibility to be quite a interesting fight, and maybe a heavyweight thriller. I think it could go down into the second half of the fight with it being either man's fight. And like I say, I think Kevin Lerena is going to maybe surprise a few people in this fight. Very good athlete, former rugby player. He's very short for the heavyweight division. He's 6'1", 6'2", and also that doesn't kind of match his style of being a guy that likes to be on the outside using movement and then kind of jumping in, But I reckon, he has the boxing IQ to be able to do it in this fight against Daniel Dubois, using, feints, maybe slipping Dubois, this jab, taking his jab away, using movement, kind of slipping the jab, getting outside, and attacking off that outside angle. So I reckon Lerena is going to be able to pose some interesting questions for Dubois. I think he might be. Let me know in the comment section below. I can't think off the top of my head, but who's another southpaw that Dubois fought, and were they as good a boxer as Kevin Lerena? Now I know Lerena hasn't achieved much in the sport other than he won the IBO title at cruiserweight, which nobody really looks at as a real title. I know a lot of South Africans tend to go that route and target that IBO route due to their promoter having maybe some type of pull with that body, that governing body or something like that, and with also it being the easiest route to get kind of a world title. But it's nice to see that they're actually kind of going the route now, getting into the top 15 on the WBA belt and looking to get up in the ranks there and possibly get a title shot there. I like this fight for Kevin Lerena, and like I said, I think it is a winnable fight for both guys, obviously. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Dubois just comes in and blasts Kevin Lerena out. However, I don't see it going like that. Let me know in the comment section below what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on this heavyweight fight. Thanks for listening. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.